Washington reporter Kevin Frey joins me now with more on this. Kevin, this was a surprise. It was a document that was not supposed to be out there for public consumption, and the protesters showed up immediately on both sides.
Yes, certainly. I mean, though, by all accounts, it seems that those who are concerned about what this ruling's implication could be were in larger number here at the court last night. We do have a few folks that have stopped by, but I will say that media is certainly outnumbering any sort of protesters or observers here at the court this morning. Within the New York delegation, the response was rather immediate. Democrats expressing a great deal of shock and concern. We saw Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney, who is the head of the Democrats' campaign arm to try to keep control of the House of Representatives, basically painting Republicans as being willing to take away access to abortion rights and women's health care.
So, Kevin, I want to go through what a draft ruling exactly is, or what a draft opinion is. What are the chances that this is not what the court announces before the end of the term, either next month or early July?
Right, so it's really a big TBD at the moment. This is a draft that was from a few months ago, and obviously in the court they go through various versions of these drafts behind the scenes, changing some of the language. You see some justices come out with their own counter opinions or concurrent opinions, depending on how the language falls. But based on Alito's writing there, he seems to suggest that he has 5, which would be a majority of the justices on the court. But again, things could change. There's also a bit of a parlor game going on here in Washington as to who leaked this document. Could it be a conservative trying to wedge the blow for more liberals if the court ends up deciding a slightly less dramatic degree of overturning Roe, maybe chipping away at it? Could it be more moderate conservative on the court trying to basically show the hands and force the hand of some of the more conservatives? It's a big question mark.
And I think there are 2 things we want to figure out for New York. Number 1 is, what does it mean for access to abortion in New York State? And I think I can answer my own question on that the legislature here is inclined to preserve that access. But then there's the bigger national picture of, if this court is prepared to move toward a more conservative position on abortion, what other protections might be threatened? How political might this court get on same-sex marriage or on other matters? What does this mean as far as the direction of this court?
Right, so let's start with the New York question, which is that essentially at the end of the day for New York, those rights to abortion are codified within the law. Now, of course, there are questions as to whether or not, if a Republicans chip away at the supermajorities in the legislature and you get a Republican governor, could that change? Obviously, that is all up for grabs, but if it does remain as it stands right now, those rights are going to be preserved in New York. Now, beyond that, when it comes to the national implications, you saw in the way that Alito has phrased some of this, trying to insulate this is a special case, but of course many liberals concerned that if you remove the underpinnings of Roe v. Wade, that could have further implications for other major social justice issues, including gay marriage down the line.
Spectrum News Washington reporter Kevin Frey. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.